guys, welcome to another episode of my relocation journey from Nigeria to Canada. How are we doing? I hope you're doing very well. If you have not liked or subscribed this channel, you are missing a lot because you need to do that. And one thing that I want you to do for me is click on that notification bell so that anytime I post, you'll be the very first person to be notified about the video. If you are the type that you're looking for admission into any university in Canada this year, this episode is for you. Don't go anywhere. If you have not been watching our previous episode, I will urge you to go back and watch our previous episodes. And in those episodes, we spoke about the pre-start, meaning that the things you need to do before you start doing your admission process or processing your admission into Canada. But in this episode, we are going to be talking about the official start, meaning that you have already searched for your school, you have already searched for lecturer, differences between thesis and course base. Now you are starting. So what do I mean by you are starting? I have not started in that pre-start, but now you're just getting really started, right? So I've already explained that you need to message a lecturer for the people that are coming to Canada on funding for scholarship. So when you message lecturers, sometimes they will answer, sometimes they don't answer. And when they don't answer, it can be very painful. But let me explain something to you. Sometimes these lecturers are very busy. So what you're going to do is that after 3 days that you did not get any response, please make sure that you send a reminder telling them that you haven't really gotten any response back from them. Then another thing that I will now ask you to do is that after 1 week, if you didn't get any response from any lecturer, I would say you should move ahead to getting another lecturer. And sometimes some lecturer will tell you that, I'm sorry, I already have my students and I won't be taking students any longer. There are many reasons why a lecturer might say no to your message. And that is why I will say that whenever you go to your departmental website, make sure you have at least 2 to 3 lecturers that you share the same kind of interest, please, in case of this kind of heartbreaks. But now let's just imagine that you're lucky and you've gotten a quick and positive response from your lecturer. What is the next thing? The next thing is that sometimes the lecturer are going to say, okay, can I have an interview with you? In my case, when I sent a message to lecturer, he was like, I wouldn't mind having an interview with you. So my own department is Department of Modern Languages, Literature and Culture, focusing on French. So I was so happy to have an interview with this my lecturer. J'étais très prête. So when I got this interview date, I started preparing. Guys, don't underestimate the power of preparation. It is very important. Prepare. And how can you prepare? I'll go into it very soon. So when you get on these interview days, there are 3 important things that you need to have prepared for. And the very first thing is your academic background. You need to have already gotten familiar to what it means to talk about your academic background. And what does that mean? It means that is there any transferable knowledge or correlation between what you did in your undergraduate and what you're coming to do in your master's program? So there are lots of people that maybe what they did in the undergraduate is different from what they are coming to do. Do you have any kind of diploma or any kind of course that you have done, maybe any online course that you can always refer to? Because all these lecturers are going to be asking you about your academic background. So you need to be able to convince them that you know what you're coming to that school to do. Remember, you're coming to write a project, you're coming to do a research. So you need to tell them that you know what you're coming to that school to do. And the second important thing is that you need to know about a research. Like I said, most Nigerian universities, you always write projects in your final year, right? So that is an example of what they will be asking you about. That do you have an idea of what research is all about? Yes, you did a project in your undergraduate. Tell them the experience, how it went, and how you were able to achieve your goal as an undergraduate student. And the third most important thing that I really want to emphasize on about all these kind of questions that your potential supervisor can ask you is about them. They want to know, do you really have interest in them, right? Have you made a research about that your potential supervisor? And how can you make research about them? Go search their name on Google, go to LinkedIn, go and search about them, know about their articles, know about what book they've written, have a general idea or even major ideas about this your potential lecturer, because he or she will be glad to listen to you talking about him or her, right? So these are the things that you really need to prepare about. Are you still learning? If yes, give this video a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. So let's continue. In the course of your interview with your lecturer, I would urge you that maybe whenever you're around it, please don't forget to ask this question, because there's going to be a part where they're going to ask you, do you have any question? If you have any question, this is a question that you should always ask. Can I please mention your name in my statement of interest? Do you know why you should ask this question? If it is a yes, you're lucky. If it is a no, that means he's not satisfied. Or if you say I'm going to get back to you, he might not be that satisfied with whatever response you gave. That is why you really need to prepare very well before this interview. Because in my case, I really prepared for days. I think I had weeks to prepare. So I watched a lot of video, did a lot of research before I went for that my interview, right? So I was saying, make sure you ask him that question. Do you know why I said you should ask him this question? He will be your defender. I told you in my first episode that I didn't get an admission into universities abroad, and I spoke about it as well on my LinkedIn page. All right, this was the mistake. You need to secure a lecturer if you want to get scholarship abroad before leaving Nigeria. Sometimes you might get here before you get some funding or scholarship, but you can always get funding even before leaving Nigeria. And how can you get that? Is by securing a project supervisor. Your project supervisor is your defender. It is when, at the end of the day, when he says yes, whenever they are having meeting and they ask, do you have a potential student? Gladly he will say yes and mention your name, and your funding is already guaranteed, and that is sure for you. That is why you need a project supervisor. And if you have any question, maybe anything that you want me to expatiate more regarding this, please feel free to let me know. I'm going to do that in the next episode. And do you want to know the next thing that is going to follow? After you have already spoken to your lecturer, after he has already said that yes, go ahead and mention my name in your statement of interest. Okay, let's go into the next episode. I'm going to be talking to you about the next thing that you have to do after your lecturer has already given you a go ahead. Give this video a like, subscribe, and until the next. See you in the next episode.